While speaking with a mysterious being, Ji-hun asks where he is. The being introduces himself only as the one who is above all others, and claims that this is a place that transcends life and death. At this point, the MC understands that he has died, but asks why he is there and not in a paradise or hell. The one who is above all says that he has been observing the man named Park Ji-hun since his birth, just as he has done with all people. But unlike the others, the circumstances that led to Ji-hun's death were an outlier, a rupture that should not have happened. His role now is to correct this, which is why he brought Ji-hun to this place. The MC then asks if he has anything to do with the epidemic that occurred 10 years ago. The superior being says that the blame for this lies with him and not Ji-hun, but claims that what happened to the MC from then on was a mistake. Not quite understanding, Ji-hun asks what will happen now. In response, the superior being says that he will give Ji-hun a new chance to live a happy and pleasant life, as retribution for what happened. Furthermore, he promises to grant 3 of his wishes, provided they directly affect Ji-hun and no one else. The MC immediately wishes that his immunity to the epidemic be transmitted to all men. However, the superior being says that this wish goes against the rules. He knows that Ji-hun is good-hearted, but asks him to think a little more about himself from now on, because only then will he be able to have a more pleasant second chance. Ji-hun thinks he is not intelligent enough because he doesn't know what to wish for, so perhaps a little more wisdom will help him reflect better on his desires. The mysterious being says that this is a great wish, so he will grant Ji-hun wisdom. He will have knowledge beyond the ordinary and will be one step ahead of others. Immediately, the MC is blessed with a profound knowledge of everything, and his mind expands in such a way that he begins to reflect better on things. Next, he realizes that, like the Greek philosophers, the brain isn't the only thing that needs to be expanded, as the physical body also needs to be considered. So, in his next wish, he asks to have a beautiful and healthy body, attractive to everyone, and immune to any kind of disease. Without feeling any pain, Ji-hun sees his body change for the better. His outward appearance becomes better than any idol in his country. Besides that, he feels much better inside as well. With 2 wishes fulfilled, the superior being asks what the young man's last wish is. Ji-hun thinks carefully about what to ask for. He doesn't consider asking for money or anything superfluous, because with his current knowledge and physique, he can have those things. But he remembers that in his life, he has known people who had beauty, money, and knowledge, but lacked one thing, humility. So, as his last wish, he asks to be guided by humility, a humility that will never lead him down the wrong path of vanity, and that he will never become like the people who betrayed him in the past. The one beneath the others says that he has always liked Ji-hun for his pure heart and wishes him a wonderful life from now on. In the blink of an eye, the MC wakes up in his bed. He is startled and wonders if it was all a dream. His cell phone alarm rings, and he notices he woke up earlier than expected. However, upon checking the device, he realizes the date doesn't match what he expected, as it's showing a date from 10 years ago. He imagines it might be a problem with his phone, but then remembers that this is the same phone he had 10 years ago, not his current one. Confused, he goes to the bathroom, thinking that a shower will help him clear his head. But when he looks in the mirror, he gets a shock, because his appearance is exactly as he saw in his dream. Not only that, but he has just realized he's no longer in the lab, but in the house he lived in while he was in college. The pieces begin to fall into place until Ji-hun finally realizes he's traveled back in time, and not only that, but the entire conversation with that mysterious being was real. Thus, the 3 wishes he made came true, and he has indeed gained a new life by returning 10 years into the past. Ji-hun takes a shower and tries to think about what he will do from now on. As he gets out of the shower, he hears someone knocking on his door. The person on the other side asks if Ji-hun overslept. The MC answers the door and comes face to face with Min-jin. He remembers that, at that time, they were just college classmates. The girl sees that Ji-hun isn't ready yet and says he's going to be late. However, the MC wonders how she didn't find his change in appearance strange. He thinks that this might be the effect of the powers of the one who is above all others, and in this life he has always had an appearance like this. Anyway, he says he's getting ready and won't be long before he leaves. Min-jin says that in that case he'll wait for Ji-hun to get ready so they can go to college together. Sometime later, the 2 walk to the university. For Min-jin, this is just another ordinary day. However, for Ji-hun, this is a very different day. But he can't go around telling everyone what he knows, so he thinks it's best to act naturally during the day, so that when he gets home, he can think better about his destiny. Upon entering the university gate, Ji-hun notices something strange. All the girls can't take their eyes off him, something he's not used to. Min-jin comments that he's becoming more and more popular, but says he won't let any girl take Ji-hun away from her. The MC feels a little embarrassed, but thinks it's best to stay quiet for now. He's having a normal day at college and thinks about how crazy this regression experience is. Because he's reliving the same moments as before, but this time, knowing what's going to happen. After class, the MC walks through the university hallways. Until some girls approach him and surround him. They want to give him their phone numbers and some gifts, trying to get something from him. However, Min-jin, jealous, grabs the MC by the arm and pulls them away from the other girls. She says that Ji-hun is only hers and nobody else's, and takes him to the exit. The MC thanks her for getting him out of that situation, but tells her not to exaggerate, after all they are just friends. Min-jin says that for her, they would be much more than friends, and it's only a matter of time before Ji-hun feels the same. He feels a little awkward disagreeing, and thinks it's best to just go home. Sometime later, the MC arrives home. After a day of reflection, he thinks that it won't be long until everything. Chaos ensues, and he needs to prepare as soon as possible. He's unsure how he'll do it and spends the night awake planning his life from now on. The next day, Min-jin knocks on the MC's door again. But this time, she doesn't find him at home and thinks her friend went to college without her, and she gets furious. She says that when she finds him, she'll argue with him for not accompanying her like they do every day. Arriving at college, Min-jin finds the MC leaving the building. Furious, she asks what he was thinking when he left home without her. Ji-hun apologizes for this, but says she'll have to get used to going to college without him. Confused, Min-jin asks what he's talking about. The MC hands her a document. Upon reading its contents, the girl is shocked. She realizes it's a request for seclusion, and she asks why he's dropping out of college so close to graduating. Ji-hun claims he's thought about it a lot and his life will work better with this decision. Min-jin doesn't understand how his life can improve without graduating. After all, the Ji-hun she knows is an exemplary student, and she always thought he would be successful in life. Besides, her plans included dating and marrying him, believing that Ji-hun would provide her with a peaceful and financially stable life. She tries to convince him not to do it. However, the MC states that he has decided not to change his mind. Furthermore, he says this is goodbye. Because in addition to college, he also thinks it's better not to maintain his friendship with Min-jin. The girl is shocked by this abrupt change in behavior. Because in the first place, it was Ji-hun who begged to be her friend, and she accepted because she believed she would benefit from it. But now he's abandoning her out of nowhere. Then, she asks if Ji-hun has met a woman more beautiful than her. And he says that no matter how beautiful this woman is, it's not worth dropping out of college for pure vanity. Ji-hun claims to know this better than anyone, and says he's not making his decision because of any woman. With all due respect, he says that from now on, Min-jin doesn't need to know the details of his life anymore, and he doesn't want the girl to worry about him either. Much less that she comes to his house, and he wishes her a good life from now on, without him around. After saying this, the MC turns his back on Min-jin and moves on. After all, he has big plans for his future, and for that, he needs to eliminate the problems of the past.